Illustrious career. We tease him a lot. He's probably ranked somewhere right around Bevo Francis in the rank of Rio Grande history. To my left here is Coach Jack Harris. Coach has been around the game of basketball as both a boys and girls coach here. You guys know him as one of the old codgers. And Coach Carroll to his left. Coach spent a lot of time junior high basketball. And then South Point head basketball coach Travis Wise. We'll be joined here in a few minutes by head coach Nathan Speed when he makes it up here in a few minutes. We want to start off a few questions. First for Coach Wise. Coach, you guys are coming off a big win down at Portsmouth this past Friday night.
It was at our place.
It was your place?
Yeah.
Sorry. At your place. Let's talk a little bit about how your season's going and what you're expecting down at South Point.
We're 4 games in, coming off that win against Portsmouth at home. It's a big conference game.
Right.
They're always a decent team. They're scary. They can shoot the ball. They're very athletic. So we're coming off that win, coming into this game tonight. Another very, very good team. Just well coached. Mm-hmm. Kids know how to win.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll be a good game. 2 good teams, and hopefully we come play a little bit tonight.
You know, Coach, we've had some epic matchups, I should say, the last couple years between Fairland, South Point game. You know, it's 2 years ago. It has split. You guys win at your place. We win up here. Last year, you win both regular season games. We win in the tournament. What's the message you're kind of telling your kids about the battle that they're about ready to undertake tonight?
Just to come be ready to play. Every time we face off, it seems like it's a good game. Yeah. Like you said, the past 3 or 4 years, I think the worst score is probably 11 points.
Right.
So it's always a tough battle. Just coming here and being ready to play, because they're going to give you 32 minutes of basketball.
Oh, they definitely are. Coach, you've been down there a few years. I believe you replaced Coach Barnes when he retired. How many years you been down there? And kind of just talk us through that journey.
This is my 9th year as the varsity. Me and Coach, we spent years at the middle school level.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 12, 13 years in middle school. Now this is my 9th year at the varsity level. So.
And I've always been impressed watching your program. You've done a great job down there, Coach. You know, you and I kind of squared off a couple times there in middle school. The last couple of years you were there. I went from the high school down to the middle school. We had a couple great battles. You know, I have a lot of respect for what you do in your program, and I wish you the best of luck. I'm sure these guys may have a couple questions for you before we let you go here.
Appreciate it.
I want to ask you, you know, you and I butted heads 20 years ago. How was coaching middle school different from coaching varsity?
It's the preparation. Like, it's the countless hours of scouting, videos, making sure your kids are prepared to watch the opponent you're facing, what they're trying to run and what they're trying to do offensively and defensively. So that was the biggest adjustment for me going from middle school to high school, is just the preparation, making sure your kids are ready to play when you come into like this environment and the program that Coach Speed has done here at Fairland. So just being prepared and making sure you got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed when you come play a team like this.
Coach, I want to ask you about your bench. How long's your bench? You got a good.
Well, right now we're about 7 to 8. We got one out tonight, COVID, one of our bigs. So we're looking at 2 sophomores replacing our Xander and the Vance kids. So we got them 2. Where we drop off is that guard, where we need that guard to come in and step up.
Well, I didn't want you to give away any weakness. Nathan's standing right there.
Listen, he knows. I'm sure he knows everything.
Well, good luck to you tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Coach, we appreciate everything. Good luck to you guys tonight.
Yeah.
If you need anything, please let any of us know, and we'll
Guys,
take care of you.
appreciate the hospitality. Thank you.
We're joined now by head coach Nathan Speed. Coach, we kind of talked to Coach Wise there about the rivalry over the last 3-4 years. You know, when these 2 teams get together, it's been a battle. You know, over the last couple years. 2 years ago, I know for sure we get beat down at South Point. They come up here, we win. Last year we lost both regular season games. We get to tournament game. Talk a little bit about the last 3 or 4 years and what this rivalry has kind of transformed into.
Yeah, it's just kind of developed out of, you know, it's from the kids wanting to win. You know, it just kind of, both teams, it seems like early in the season on, it's played like a tournament game. you know, it's a great game early in the season just because both teams are really going at it early and play hard for 32 minutes. And, you know, early on in the season, you don't get a lot of games like that until mid-season on to prepare you for the tournament. But, you know, usually these games have gone that way.
Right. You know, another big game tonight. First home game. Senior class has won a lot of basketball games. They played in a lot of basketball games. What's your message kind of going into this game tonight to those seniors and to make sure they're carrying on that tradition at Fairland and making it a tough environment to come in and play?
Just, you know, take pride in what you do. Take pride in playing at home. You know, all the players that have played here to, you know, make Fairland basketball great, all the coaches that have been here to make Fairland basketball great, we owe it to them to, you know, just come out and play hard and try to execute.
Yeah. Coach, you guys got anything for Coach Speed before he takes off here?
How's your bench?
What's that?
How's your bench?
Good. We're about 8 deep. You know, I feel safe with that, and we've got some guys coming back off injury that I think will help later in the year too, make us a little bit deeper. But, you know, Zion and Hunter doing a great job. Keegan comes in and gives us some minutes too. So, yeah, we're confident in that.
Coach, what do you think your weakness is? Is it your people underneath? Is it your guards? What do you think?
Rebounding. We've struggled to rebound offensively and defensively. We tend to kind of stand and watch when shots go up. We're very confident in our shot making that we just stand and watch instead of, you know, we think it's going in.
I used to call that bird watching.
Yes. Well, it was something. They're doing something. Yeah. But, yeah, definitely would be rebounding. We've got to do a better job attacking the ball on offensive rebounds and, you know, checking out defensively on defensive rebounds.
You know, Coach, we hope to get the opportunity to come into your locker room here in a little bit and be a part of that pregame and kind of watch that. What is the first, you know, when you're in there and you're talking to your team, the first 5 minutes of this game, first 2 minutes, first 3 minutes, what's that message? Get started fast. Let's take care of every possession. Let's make some show. You know, what's that first 2 to 5 minutes?
Just be extremely fundamental and play hard, you know, because that takes care of nerves. You know, if you go out and focus on being fundamental with the basketball offensively and defensively well, not leaving your feet, not fouling, and playing hard, that just kind of takes the nerve and you just get in the flow of the game.
Coach, I'm going to kind of change gears here on you a little bit. 997 career victories in school history at Fairland. We started in 1949, 1950 season. Coach, you were a part of 200 and some plus.
225.
225 victories. Coach, you're 200 and some. What's your take on this?
Yeah, it's you know, hopefully we get that this year. Yeah. We better.
We better, yes.
No, it's really exciting, you know, to think about, to just be a part of that great tradition and, you know, that many wins and, you know, playing at the old high school and coming here into this nice facility and, you know, watching it grow and watching Fairland basketball grow. It's just, you know, an exciting time.
Yeah, it is. We're excited for the kids. We're excited for the communities. You know, to win 1,000 ball games, that's huge. And to think in 74 plus years, we're able to do that. Coach, we want to wish you good luck tonight. We're looking for exciting things. Yeah. And again, good luck to you tonight.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
That's right. And hopefully we're celebrating after this game.
Yeah,
we appreciate you coming
Absolutely.
up,
Yeah,
Coach.
thank you.
Thank
you.
You know,
we can't come in the locker room then.
We kind of mentioned, Coach, what'd you say? Sorry, I had somebody behind me holler here when you gave me a number. What'd you say, 225?
Yeah.
225 of those victories on the boys' side. What does it mean to you to see after, you know, your career ended, you retired, to see the program continue to grow and do the great things that it's done here?
I'm impressed with all of it, Jim. The football team. That banner yours the last,
right?
What, 4 or 5? I don't know.
Yeah.
Basketball. Went to the state tournament in 2017.
Right.
Girls basketball. And the best is yet to come with them.
It is.
I mean, they've had like 6 running clocks already. And, you know, I don't get to see much softball or baseball, but I keep up with it. You know, I read the newspaper. But I think and wrestling, cross country, golf, it's just been out of sight, bro. It is just like a flower that's blooming and it's about halfway done.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it has been remarkable what is going on here since I left.
Right.
Maybe that's a clue.
It has, and I get to be the cheerleader coach. Every night I get to go out and cheer. You're going to see me stand at the end of the bench with some of the guys. JR travels with me in basketball. I got Killer with me in football. I got my brother-in-law Josh with me. For us just to get to experience it and be down there and celebrate with the kids and watch the excitement out of our community, watching the stands and our kids, it's amazing to me. I'm just happy to be a part of it, along for the ride.
Yes.
I want to kind of ask JR a question here. JR, you were involved in a lot of Fairland Chesapeake games, per se, a lot of huge games, and even in your career at Chesapeake and South Point. As the player mentality, what's it take to get yourself ready for these type of basketball games in this environment?
I would say it doesn't take a lot to get ready for like this type of game. Usually the fans, I think, are what kind of like it builds that excitement. Like you come in for warm-ups, you come out of the locker room, and the fans are already cheering, kind of already into it. That mentality, like, it just doesn't take much to get ready for that game when you have people yelling at you. Your fans are ribbing the opponents and saying some stuff. And
did you get to play over at the old high school?
Yeah, I definitely played at the old high school.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. Going to a Chesapeake Fairland game in that gym, wall to wall, people lined up, had to give the referee just a little bit of room so he could get up the basket.
Good.
I'm telling you, it was excitement.
It's interesting. Like, I talk to Killer all the time now.
Yeah.
Like hanging out with Killer now, I can remember sliding out of bounds during a game and him grabbing a hold of me, trying to keep me from getting back onto the floor. So I definitely remember those games of just showing up for the JV game and it's completely packed.
And Coach, you talking about that, I can remember my freshman year, we were playing Chesapeake. I think they're 1, we're 2 in the state, in the AP poll. We come in to get dressed for a JV game, and there ain't a seat left in the house. And
that was remarkable.
You couldn't
the
take
JVs to play in front of a packed
we couldn't take the ball out of bounds for people standing. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the official was Ron Dyke falls over a cheerleader in the varsity game because the cheerleaders are out on the floor because there's no room for people. People was everywhere. So I remember those days over there, and I tell Killer and I tell JR a lot, I'd love to be able to have a throwback game against somebody in that gym. I think it would be an outstanding. Unfortunately for fire code and several other reasons, we probably can't go back over there anymore because we're packing this house out.
You
So
remember when we put a set of bleachers up on the stage?
a set of bleachers on the stage,
accommodate
yeah.
more people?
Oh, yeah. I remember coming out after that Chesapeake game we're talking about there, and the JV team had to set Indian style right behind your bench on the stage. That was the only place we could go. And so,
That's right.
Some great memories from over there. Coach, I know you spent some time in that rivalry also as from that team down the river, but what? Big game situation as a coach, as a player, getting kids ready and in those situations.
Me being from Chesapeake, first of all, and coming up here, completely different. So the one game actually 2 games in basketball that you always wanted to win was those games against Chesapeake.
Right.
And coaching, I remember coaching down in the old high school gym that you guys were talking about where I went to high school and packing that place down there. Same thing. I remember, I was in high school and you were coaching and that place was just packed.
Thanks for reminding me.
We had bleachers up, on the stage too, and it was awesome. But I'll tell you, the rivalry, coach against JR, year or 2 while he was down there coach. I mean, you meet a lot of good people, and you've seen a lot of good kids come and go down through both programs. And and kids have gone out and been successful. That's the biggest thing.
That's one of the things that he just said something that really kind of clicked with me is to meet good people. Still today, I can walk in a gym, I may know the referee, and they'll come over and shake my hand. Coaches, former players, I mean, it just never ends, and it doesn't matter where I'm at.
Right.
We go up somewhere close to Columbus or around Chillicothe, they don't know me, but, when we go around here, Travis,
Oh, yeah.
and just everywhere. Steve Lambert up Rock Hill, and just the places we go and the people that old coaches and old players and referees. And
Well, you know what?
it's
I've been
real.
around forever. And you've been around forever and a day. So if you don't know them, I probably do.
Hey, you know more people than I do.
No.
You know, you guys are saying that. Yardley's, but my daughter Yardley is 11. She's been traveling with us some, and she gets so mad at us because it's me, Killer, and JR going in somewhere, and we stop and talk to everybody because we know everybody. And Yardley gets so mad at us, and she'll go, "Is there anywhere we can go that you don't know somebody?" And my dad's got her papa's got her giving me a hard time, and she'll ask me now, "Are you running for commissioner? Are you running for something?" I go, "Why?" She goes, "Will you hug 3 people, kiss 2 babies, and shuck everybody's hand going down through there?" You know, so that's part of it, Coach. You know, being a part of it in the communities, we see people that we know through all these.
You know, it doesn't
connections.
matter
It's been
what
great.
community you're in. You're always going to run into good people.
Yes.
I mean,
agree.
you are. Around here, anyway.
I agree.
That's just
I
how it
agree.
is. It doesn't matter where we go. I mean, we always feel welcome, and people are always good to us. And, you know.
It definitely is. You know, and one of the things I had the opportunity played for you. When I say I played for you, I was thinking today, was I a 30-30 guy or a 40-40 guy? I can't remember which one I was.
Basketball?
I was either up 40.
played?
Yeah, I played. I think I was more of a 40-40 guy. Up 40, down 40, 40 seconds left. Hey, go in and just make us laugh. You know, that was about the extent of my basketball career that one year. And Coach Ramey, I think I was more of just holding the water bottles or something for you guys. But you gave me the opportunity there to wear a uniform for a year. Then I had the ability. I started coaching with Coach Carroll at the middle school. Worked my way up here. Spent a year with this guy over here, and wow, amazing. I think at one point in time we were coaching, and we were almost like a football staff. He was the offensive coordinator. I was the defensive coordinator. He wouldn't let me call any offense, and I called all the defense, which was just a match up, you know. So, but we've had a lot of good times together. All of us have, and I appreciate those friendships and what we've garnered here. Coach, let's change gears a little bit and let's talk about this girls basketball program. We've got to watch the last couple nights.
Well, you know, there's a lot of people just saying, hey, they're going to run the table. Now, it seems to me like I read somewhere about their schedule, and they're playing in some of these shootouts, and you got Simon Kenton and people like that.
It's going to change here.
It's not going to be Cupcake City.
Right, yeah.
You're going to have to earn it.
We go up to the Classic in the Country over Martin Luther King holiday. I believe we play on either Saturday evening or Sunday evening. We're going to play Marguerite, which is a very good Division III team that's winning some games right now. And then toward the end of the year, we're going to go down to Eastern Brown and play Cincinnati Country Day.
Right.
They're a great program.
Yes.
So you know, for these girls just to run the table, as everybody's thinking, is going to be a feat in its own, because we're going to hit some pretty good competition coming up here as we go. We're up in D2 now, so that's a change for us in the tournament. We're going to be seeing Warren, John Glenn, Sheridan, New Lex, Waverly, some of those teams. It's going to be a little different atmosphere for us.
I agree with that 100%, especially come tournament time, and you're playing Division IIs. And, you know, Division II to me is, you know, Warren and Gaia. Of course, Gaia's a little weak after last night.
Not a knock on them. They're down right now.
Right. You know, they have good programs up there. They're just a little down this year.
You know, I told Coach Cole after the game there, I said, Coach, unfortunately you were on the wrong side of this, but I can remember my senior year in 1995, I had a girl by the name of Mindy Pope, who was an unreal player.
Yes.
And we were 16-4 on the season, 16-3 at the time, and they come down and scored about 107 on us here to 30. I mean, we were a good basketball team, and I remember Mindy Pope just being, she played like a lot of the boys. She could have probably started for Coach Oz. She was so damn good. Yeah. So, you know, that rivalry with Gaia and the girls basketball has seen those type of games on both sides.
I think we're going to see more teams out of Central Ohio.
Oh, yeah. I believe so. So, Coach, I know you got to spend a little bit of time with this group that's there now at the middle school level. What was it like coaching some of these kids in middle school that are now big time at the high school?
Well, I'm going to I could go through and just list names. I'm not going to do that because I'll probably leave somebody out. But honestly, those kids, it was roll a ball out, tell them what you want them to do, and they did it.
Right.
We could do anything we wanted to do with them, and a lot of those kids played AAU ball. They, they already knew, they already knew the game, and it wasn't as much as teaching as it was polishing. Now, of course, it's trying to teach a system that Coach Buchanan runs and do some of those things, but just an extraordinary group right there. There's about 8 or 9 girls right there, maybe 10, and those 2 grades that are just outstanding. The freshmen coming in are really, really good, and he's got a good future here if we can keep them all together and keep them healthy.
I agree.
JR, he didn't call 5 timeouts the whole season.
Yeah, I mean, after watching him for the last 2 seasons, I can understand, like, at a middle school level where there's not really a whole lot of coaching going on.
The one group that I had that are freshmen, I had some teams in middle school, boys that they could have probably beat, and I'm not, that's true.
Right.
I mean, there's a difference in boys and girls, but I'm just going to tell you, they were that good that probably some of those back in the day, they could have probably beat them.
Right. We're joined by head girls basketball coach John Buchanan. Coach, welcome to the show. We're talking a little bit about your program here.
Sounds like if we lose, it's
all coaching.
it goes
It's
down
all
to one
coaching.
thing.
It's all coaching.
It has nothing to do with anything they've done wrong. It has. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Lane Wireman tells us all the time.
I'm hearing that.
Good players overcome bad coaching.
Yeah,
That's right.
So that must be what's going on right now.
Well, like I said, they were great in middle school. Coach Carroll coached them, so obviously
You're right.
they had to overcome that.
No,
That's right.
Coach, welcome to the show. You've had a great run here. I had the opportunity to just kind of sit on your bench and hand you a water bottle, hand you a cup of water for a couple years and make a state tournament run. Just an outstanding coach from opening tip to the end and the preparation you put in 10, 11 months out of the year. Coach, we can't say enough about what you do for your program. Kind of fill in the people that, if you're living under a rock and they don't know about Fairland Girls Basketball Program, tell us a little bit about it.
I mean, like you said, it is probably 10, 11 months out of the year, whether it's, I'll be honest with you, like the last, maybe 4 or 5 years, I've been able to have my hand in like the program from kindergarten to 12th grade. 5 years ago, we started a fall league that's for kindergarten through 6th graders. So we spend 2 months out of like in September and October with our younger kids. And obviously our high school kids are always doing something other than the 28 days after their season and then the month of August. So they're always, whether it's individual workouts or conditioning or whatever the case is, like there's always something that they're doing as well. So we have a hand in pretty much any girl that plays basketball at Fairland, we work with them.
And probably the most impressive thing, and we tell a lot of people, and JR and I've had this conversation, Killer and I've had this conversation, it doesn't matter who the individual is, if they've been in your league from kindergarten to seniors, they walk in the gym, you're able to, right now, call them by name, and every one of them walk over and has a pleasant exchange with you. And that means a lot. Both of my kids played in the league. One of them still playing in your league right now. And for Ellison to come home and just talk about the love of basketball and what she, and your interaction with her says so much about what you're doing here. And we can't thank you enough about that. And that's why we're where we are today. It's because of that hard work, and we do appreciate you. A couple games we were talking about coming up. You got a couple tournaments coming up. Going to Classic in the Country here in January. We don't want to forget everybody in between, but you got Marietta coming up here. You're going to play St. Mary's and River.
Yeah. Both St. Mary's and River are undefeated right now. So obviously I get questioned all the time right now about when are you going to get challenged? When are you going to get challenged? And first of all, we have our next 2 league games will be 2 of the toughest league games we'll have. But when we go to Marietta College over Christmas, both those teams are undefeated. When we go to Classic in the Country, I think Margaretta has 1 loss, but they've made 5 or 6 straight regional appearances. So there are definitely some teams on the schedule. We've tried to make it as hard as we possibly could for our team to be challenged before we get to the tournament.
And I had a conversation last night with a couple people. I said, we got 14 games as a lock every year. We have to play those 14 league games no matter what. And please don't take that wrong. We love our league and we love everything about our league. We're going to play those 14 games and we're going to play them as hard as we can play them. But that gets us ready for those 8 non-league games, and we really step up. You do an outstanding job of really stepping up that non-league schedule. But we're, you and I have had these conversations. We're running into some difficulty of finding those games.
Yeah.
How difficult is it now with the tradition of Fairland girls basketball to find those games?
Especially to get somebody to come here to play.
Right.
That's like nearly impossible. If you look at our non-conference schedule, we don't play I think Spring Valley is the only non-league game we play that's actually like a home or away game. Everything else is a neutral site. No one's willing to really want to go play on the road, or you know what I'm saying. So like that's kind of becoming the way of when you're a pretty good basketball team, you don't get to host any non-conference games. But I mean, for instance, last Saturday, you guys watched us play Fort Fry. I mean, speak of how special the group we have is. We beat Fort Fry last year at Marietta College over Christmas in a really close game. Beat them in a Sweet 16, which means that you're one of the best 16 teams in the state. And we obviously, you feel, hey, we're going to schedule, and then we're up 31-4 at halftime on Saturday. Right. So obviously, this group we have, is a step above what we've had here recently, which has been really, really good. So it's a challenge to challenge ourselves.
It is, and I don't want to give anybody bulletin board material. But like you said, we beat Fort Fry in the regional last year. We knew they had a lot of kids coming back. We beat Union beat us, by 2. Those were 2 schools that we called originally that said, no, we don't want to play. We don't want to play at our place. We don't play on the road. We don't want to play in neutral.
Right.
So it's a great issue to have, a great problem to have, but it's becoming a little bit hard to find teams to schedule. So we love that. Coaches, you guys got anything for Coach Buchanan before we?
Yeah, John, you know how much respect I have for you and your program and how hard you work. I got a question I want you to answer. How many days a week are you not in a gym?
How many days a week am I not in a gym?
Sunday?
No, we practice on Sunday. So, actually, it would be 0. It really would be
I know. I see you at 6th grade games, 7th, 8th grade games.
We do the Buddy League stuff on Saturday.
Buddy League.
And then so we actually, with our team, our high school team, unless they have a game on Saturday, we don't practice. But because we play most Mondays, we practice on Sunday.
Right.
That'd be like a prep day for.
Sure.
So for instance, this Sunday will be a prep day for Rock Hill on Monday. So for myself personally, it's 0. So it's
that
a
game
lot.
At home Monday?
Yeah, home Thursday, home Monday. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And John, do you feel like this year with the team that you have, you can spend a little less time scouting teams and more focusing on just what you do well, perfecting what you guys do well? Are you really going to change your game plan to kind of fit what maybe another team's doing?
You're right, and probably not so much. The chances of us not trying to do what we do is probably not going to happen. Now, obviously, there are things like, hey, I'm guarding, Susie's really good at this, so you're scouting personnel, or maybe there's certain, but like you said,
not much sets.
The start for us is going to be what we do well, and that's what we're going to. We're going to try to. We want to be who we are first and foremost, and then, obviously, if there's have to be adjustments. We were really worried last Saturday. Fort Fry runs open post, and we really kind of tried to go over that, and it wasn't even necessarily worried about a certain player. It was just kind of hey, here's where they try to slip, here's where they try to dribble at back cuts. There were certain actions that. Because most of the actions you guard in the high school realm today center around the ball and a ball screen.
Right.
And Fort Fry ran a lot of things that don't. It's off-ball stuff where your kids just aren't used to covering off-ball actions. So the scouting stuff may go into that, but like you said, it centers on what do we do and try to get better at what we do.
Right.
I have one more question.
Okay.
What's the chances of us getting a canister of pure oxygen on the visiting bench? Your defense is suffocating, brother.
Well, we're really blessed to have the amount of kids we're willing to play. You
put a new wrinkle in too this year, and that baby is working to a T.
Definitely the deepest team we've ever had. As far as people I've been willing to play, the 2014 team that made the state tournament, I feel like until that point was the most talented. I feel like this team might be as talented. Now there's no 6'4" kid that goes to Michigan. That kid's not on this team. But overall, these girls run as fast as anybody we've had. They play as hard as anybody we've had, shoot as well, IQ's just as good. So, I mean, we're really blessed to, like, if you want to, just us playing our team last year. I mean, we played 5 kids last year, and then if you played that team versus this team, Fairland versus Fairland, again, like, you could potentially see like some fatigue to set in because 8 versus 5 is tough.
Yes, sir.
And those 3 kids that come off the bench are just about as good as the kids that started the game.
Well, speaking of that, like, we've kind of talked about it while watching a couple of the games. That do you kind of have like a set rotation? We know about this time we're going to sub people in because it kind of seems that way. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, what do you do if, all right, we're going to sub in for, you know, Reese maybe at like the 6-minute mark, but she's already hit 3 threes. Are you going to stick to that rotation, or are you going to kind of?
I'll be honest with you. I've kind of like delegated that to my assistants and kind of let them sub. Now, obviously, I'll have a time whenever I'm like, I'm not happy about
Get her out of there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I want this kid in the game, but yeah, you're like. There was a time last night, you know, Reese had made some threes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we took her out of the game. I know the ball didn't get one more to her, and I was kind of like, you know, like it kind of goes in the same sense of like, hey, like we got to make basketball decisions here,
right.
you know. So, but yeah, I get what you're saying, and you're probably right. Like we do like try to like
Hot hand to let them play.
yeah, let them shoot.
Let 'em shoot.
I'll say this, like. I don't know of anybody else that lets them shoot as much as we do. I'll say that. We like last night
How many threes did you have last night?
Well, I don't know how many we had. I know how many we shot before we made one. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Oh, yeah, you
Apparently,
started ugly.
it seemed like a lot.
But, Coach, you won by 61.
We did. We did. But, yeah,
You definitely weren't telling them to stop shooting, though.
No,
I know that.
I mean, they spend so. I mean, like you said, I mean, we're playing 10 to 11 months out of the year. And they're working on their game that much. Like, what kind of coach would I be like, hey, you know, you missed 2 in a row, don't shoot it. You know, like, I mean, they spend like their whole lives doing this. Like, I'm not going to like handcuff them. You know, I want them to, you know, like play the game they've worked on. You know, so.
Coach, we appreciate you coming on. We're going to get South Point Superintendent Sam Gu on here. We're going to talk to him a little bit. Again, we appreciate you coming on. Good luck Thursday night here, Chesapeake. We'll play Cabell Midland in a JV game at 6 o'clock first. Then we'll play Chesapeake at about 7:15ish, and then you're off this Saturday, right?
I am.
You're off this
well,
Saturday.
We got youth league, but I'm
We
off.
got youth league. Yeah.
Kids are off.
Our boys are playing this Saturday. I'm not used to.
Yeah, that's true. The
One
boys
of us
are
are
playing.
always playing on
Yeah.
Saturday. So, and then we play Rock Hill here on Monday.
Yep.
Another big game for us. So, Coach, again, good luck to you rest of the season. We'll see you tomorrow on the Coach's Corner at 3 o'clock.
Thank you.
All right.
Good luck, Coach.
We'll get Coach Gu on here, Mr. Gu. He's the South Point Superintendent. Knows a little bit about basketball himself. He played on a couple okay teams down the river. Won a few games. What about 75 in your varsity
I don't know,
career?
Man, I was just looking at this panel thinking I'm definitely a low man on the totem pole of basketball IQ, buddy. So we had some good times though together with this guy.
That's right.
We had a lot of good times in the gym for sure. Basketball's been good.
Little change of scenery for you this year, Sam, coming up to South Point. How's that adjustment been for you and your family? Big step for you guys. How's that been for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think for number one, we couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity. It was an opportunity in leadership that I knew at some point in my career I would want to maybe pursue. And when it came available, it was really difficult and really challenging. Just even thinking about leaving Rock Hill, where I was as a principal, such great people out there. But it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up for our family, I don't think. So, and it's been nothing but a blessing. I mean, the South Point community's welcomed me in, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. So.
You know, you talked about playing some basketball with this guy here. We talked to him a little bit earlier, and I know you had the opportunity. You coached a little bit at Rock Hill. You coached a little bit at Chesapeake. You coached around. You played in these type of games, whether as a player or a coach. What would be your message in the locker room tonight at the start of this game? If you're back in there?
I think what we know as players and coaches really is the amount of time you put into your craft. And I think in big games, this is what it's all about. Like, it's the big stage. It's the ones that you look forward to playing in as a player. And so I would say go out and have fun and play. Let your game do the talking on the court, but also just make sure that you represent your school with pride and the effort that I think it's important to always remember who you're representing while you're on the court, and the effort that you put forth is representative of your school. But man, have fun. It's what it's all about. These kind of games it's going to be a fun atmosphere for the kids, and it's a big time game for both programs right now, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Huge game for both teams. Been back and forth the last couple years between these two, so we're expecting an exciting game. Let's kind of switch gears. We're going to put both of you guys back in those Chesapeake uniforms back in the day.
I don't think they fit anymore.
You don't think they fit anymore?
Yeah, I mean, they were outgrown those.
They were pretty big, but I still don't think we're going to fit in them anymore.
Here, we're the same.
Who was better? Which one of you guys were better?
Oh, geez.
There's no question, man. If I'm an opposing player, I don't want to play against this guy. I can tell you that. He was a gnat and just miserable to play against. I'll tell you that, Sue. I without question with JR on that. He was a man.
I think if you come down to just pure basketball, probably IQ and skill, obviously Sam was probably better. I was probably one of the only, probably one of the dumbest people to ever try to take a charge from him in practice once.
I'll tell you what, we played a lot of ball in South Point.
Yeah.
And JR, his house was in South Point for a lot of the time we grew up, and that's how our relationship kind of developed, was just playing ball on that court right there in South Point. And so those were some good memories. That relationship developed, and we were lifelong friends from then.
Coach, you were at the end of your career trying to prepare for these guys a couple times.
Hey, that big old left-handed boy, what was his name?
Tomlin, probably.
Yeah.
Tomlin. He's after Edwards.
Edwards.
Big old boy.
Yeah.
And Jonathan.
Yeah.
The Runyon kid. Tough.
Well, you had some battles, man. You were unbelievable.
First year I ever coached against Louis D'Antoni. He was the head coach. And he was quite a fellow too. I really admire him, and he was so respectful, and nice to everybody. We played him in 3 overtimes down there, and I remember Aaron Rice on the sideline. They threw him the ball and hit his hands and dropped straight down on the out-of-bounds line with seconds to go. We were up 1, and we ended up winning. But we had some great battles all through the years. With, let's see, McClellan, I think, came after D'Antoni, maybe, and then Norm. And then Norm. But we're good friends. We play golf, and he's really a fine fella. But boy, you get on the battlefield with him. We went at it a few times.
Pretty mellow guy, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, I always look forward in the little gym over there, the middle school gym, those two, because it was entertainment at its finest.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, growing up, that's what we witnessed. Is whenever we were coming through Chesapeake there, we witnessed those games, and those games were really what I think kind of fueled. Yeah. I mean,
it had ESPN back then.
Oh, no doubt. And it was, there was not a better environment than in that gym you're talking about, Coach Carroll. I mean, it was just jam-packed.
That was a tough place to play. I remember when I was in school. I don't know if y'all remember Marvin Meredith was down from
Oh,
Russell.
yeah, Russell.
When I was playing, we played them, and he hated coming in there. His players made fun of him, called it the cracker box and all this stuff, and we whipped them pretty good. And I remember after that, he said, I don't want to go back over and play.
You ever been to Russell and played? I've been there.
Yeah.
It ain't no... It's just above cracker box.
That's one of the things that the new schools were nice. We have one of the better facilities in Southern Ohio here, but it's so different than when the crowd was right on top of you in that tight. Now it's took some of the environment out of it. But I love our facility here. It's a beautiful facility. We have the opportunity to do things like this.
That's why you want to play a game.
Oh, yeah. I want to play one back over there.
He wants everybody back in that corner where we all used to stand and keep JR down on the floor.
Yeah, that's right.
So, again, Sam, we appreciate everything you've done. You know, we've had the opportunity. I've kind of grew up with you as we went, and we spent some time in the conference and doing some things. We appreciate everything you've done for the OVC over the last few years. I know you stepped away after you got the superintendent's job, but I do appreciate everything you've done.
Man, I'll tell you, I would say this to anybody, Jeff, you're in that role, man, you serve in a big-time way. And for the Fairland District, just they got something special in you. So I want to encourage you in that, and just let everybody know, really, you're a blessing to the district, and what you do for the kids. And, you know, sports, you can say what you want. At the end of the day, I think that they have a major, big-time impact on kids over the course of their time in school. And there's life lessons every single day.
There is.
I think you know that.
Yeah. Sam, I appreciate the kind words.
That commercial on ESPN. Sports has a secret forever.
Yeah, it does.
Before you go, Sam, I'm going to put you in a tough little spot here. I know you're the superintendent of South Point. I believe you have a son down there playing tonight.
Yeah.
Which side are we on tonight?
Man, I'll tell you what, I'm hoping it's a great game. So I think it'll be a good game. It's fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
It will be. Sam, we appreciate you coming on. You're always welcome back here. And I know we're going to see you a little bit as Maddox is as a freshman here. And Jetta over at the middle school is having a great career so far.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm sure we're going to have you back on here. We're going to talk a little bit about South Point and with you and some different things. We appreciate you coming up.
Thank you all so much. Appreciate you.
Guys, we appreciate you tuning in tonight. We're going to sign off here for about 10 minutes. Then Coach Carroll and Coach Harris are going to sign back on. We're going to have the South Point game here. We're just about to start of the fourth quarter. Guys, I appreciate you coming on tonight and helping me out. It was a great show, JR. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Glad to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
It's been a great night.
Only ugly ones up here now.
That's right. That's
Might
right.
be old.
Hey, I was going to tell you, you had 3 Chesapeake guys sitting here just a second ago.
Well, I think it's definitely interesting to me that a lot of these Chesapeake people that like I kind of went to school with, you look like me, like Sam's one of my best friends, Matt Wilson's one of my best friends. All of us have kind of migrated up a little bit. All of our kids are going to Fairland now.
Sam's
it is kind of interesting.
My granddaughter play on the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, probably the most interesting thing, I took this job and I tell all my athletes here, you're not allowed to wear purple. We're not allowed to wear purple at all.
My wife's favorite color.
I know. It's Ellison's favorite color. She wants to talk about it all the time. And everything. JR is my best man in my wedding. Matt Wilson, who's also a Chesapeake grad.
Yeah, he goes
You know, those guys were my wedding. My 2 best friends are from Chesapeake, and just the 2 communities together. We understand when the ball goes up, we become rivals. But the rest of the time, we're on one big, huge team. And I appreciate everything down there. Have a lot of respect for their administration, Doug Hale and what he's doing, Greg Sullivan. Those guys are doing some outstanding things down there. Again, tonight's game with South Point. We can talk Chesapeake here after the break, after the holiday break, because they're going to be up here, and we'll probably do this again for that game. But tonight's about South Point. It's always a great battle. We're going to see what Coach Wise and Coach Speed, the product they're going to put on the floor here in a little bit. It's going to be a great game. Dragon Nation, we'll see you in about 10 to 15 minutes back live with the old Codgers as they got the call tonight. Have a good evening and good night.